Hello Guardians, it's the Sen, and welcome back to Destiny. Yeah, it's been some time since we sat down and talked, but I do have quite a discussion today. As you can tell, I am on my Titan, with the law that should be very familiar with you, because that is the discussion of today's video, Crucible. But not only Crucible, the idea of honor within it, and winning by any means necessary. So, let's begin. I had this video planned out for some time, but I didn't feel as comfortable talking about it yet, being the high caliber conversation that it is, so I decided to gather more research. Since my last Crucible related video, I have acquired the Luna's Howl, Recluse, and most recently the Mountaintop, and soon to be, if I'm lucky, not forgotten. During my trek throughout quick play and competitive, I fought a manner of all Guardians, both very good and some in need of work. But what soon caught my attention was the idea of honor and fairness amongst the Crucible. Should you teabag, wave off heavy, and avoid loadouts as some would call sweaty? For those wondering, this is not by any means a video bashing those who do the exact opposite of those things, but simply talking about it if they play a role in it in the Crucible today. Competitive is a mode that most Guardians would say, if they had really the, freedom to really do it as much as often as they wanted to, chances are they wouldn't. But being that a majority of the game's weapons are from competitive, a lot of people typically will do it. As I mentioned, I will be showcasing my Titan as a reference for this video, so let's go over him. I love my Titan, by the way. I feel like I really haven't been giving him as much love recently, being the pursuit of my Shadow title. But for my kinetic, I am rocking the Imperial Decree, Luna's Howl, and for a heavy, 21% Delirium. I could, of course, replace this with something else, but Delirium personally is something I'm very fond of. I like my Luna's Howl with Icarus Grip, and I've really grown fond of the Imperial Decree, which roll with the full Masterwork with really good range stats. One-Eyed Mask, of course, with a Super Mod on the arms, Grenade Ordnance on the chest, Ordnance on the legs, and a Resilience Mod on the mark. So, nothing too crazy. As you can see though, my Titan is wearing what I like to call the by any means necessary loadout. That is when I decided to make the choice of what I like to call throwing honor out of the window. I was very fond to have this discussion, being I've yet to see anyone put a tagline on it per se. Competitive is not the place to have a conscience or a heart. I learned that the hard way, unfortunately. Sending messages and waving off heavy and sometimes can be very chivalrous and notable, but the odds of it working can be very slim, I want to say. How many times have one messaged GG's to an enemy team and was met with insults? A case in point to that would be a couple competitive matches ago. I was going up against a team. It ended, I believe, 5-5. So we were both pretty rivaled. Got the last kill, and I simply messaged one of the guys. I believe it was a 4-stack as well. So the full team, I wanted this message to go out to the full team. I said GG's because it was very, it was a very close match. It was a very, very close match. It was one of those matches in competitive that are simply just, wow, I can't believe I won this. Those guys were crazy good. How did I beat them? Hence why I just said GG's, and they were not happy about that. I believe one of them took it as an insult, as if I was being cocky. I believe in some cases, I think one threatened to report me or something like that, but yeah, it kind of was very unfortunate when I was actually being very sincere just to be met with that. Now, am I a saint? No, not even close. I've teabagged my fair share of cocky Titans and Hunters, and I have no regrets. None at all. Some of them deserved it. Some days I just felt like doing it because, hey, it's a video game. But one thing I wanted to really address is, what is an honorable play style? I typically see a lot of people saying that often on Reddit, various social media platforms, saying, if you use this, you are sweaty or you're just a tryhard. But then I would I kind of want to ask, like, okay, with that being said, what to you is an honorable playstyle in Destiny? For example, is it a Titan not shoulder charging as much? Is it a hunter strictly boots to the ground? Or is it a warlock just not healing himself or using his chargeable grenades? What is playing, you know, fairly in a game with so many playstyle varieties like Destiny? And most of them will not give you an answer. They just want to just kind of get their feelings out there, because of course the reason for them posting that, they must have gotten out of a match where they got their faces stomped in by someone with the traditional, let's say, a Not Forgotten and any pretty much kinetic shotgun that can map you, for example. And a Warcliffe is a heavy. That of course would make anyone feel some kind of way. I've been on that end as well, but never will I attack anyone, because that's just not how this should work. It's an interesting discussion, being that there's just so many things going on in the game right now that one can't really just put a label on how to play and what is honor, when they typically will be using the same traditional loadouts as well. Now, is it annoying to get ran through by 6 stacks of Not Forgottens? Yes. Very, very annoying in quick play. Does it suck to get sniped on heavy when the enemy team happens to get heavy first? And of course, it's the traditional Warcliffe coil. Yes. But with all that, the key is to just keep going. One must learn to adapt and evolve when it comes to Crucible. There is no formula to Crucible, as much as people would like there to be. Are there loadouts that are in the meta? 100%. But is there a specific way to go about Crucible? Not necessarily. There are teams that can go undefeated with just strictly communication, planned out tactics, and efficient callouts. And then there are teams that can be undefeated simply by rushing in head first and shooting anything that moves and jumps off the ground. Those are what win. Those are the kind of people that win, when they stick to what they know and eventually just build upon it and get better. Me, for example, I'm a solo player. I don't necessarily have a team that I play with in competitive or quick play. I do have a clan that I play with very often that does quick play, but they're not on Destiny as much as I am. This and Monster Hunter are typically the 2 games I play. 60% I want to say Destiny, 40% Monster Hunter. So I'm a very big solo player, especially in competitive. I'm very grateful to have acquired the weapons that I have solo. Not many people can say or do that. I didn't cheese Mountaintop. No shade to anyone that does. You gotta do what you gotta do. I didn't get carried to my Lunar's Howl or my Recluse. I just paced myself, knew when and when not to play, which is a definite other piece of advice I'll put out there, is knowing when and when not to play these kind of game types. Crucible is supposed to be enjoyable. It saddens me to see so many people on Reddit, Twitter, various social media platforms complain about the state of Crucible. Is Bungie working on it? Yes. Do I think come Shadowkeep they're going to implement something that's going to make it amazing? My gut is absolutely saying yes. Yes, they are. Now, with the idea of me chasing Not Forgotten ahead, I know that a lot of what I discussed will be put into play. Playing to win, when not to play. When is a good time to try to be a good person? When is not a good time to be a good person? You get the idea. I definitely want to end this video by saying, surround yourself with those better than you. That is one way or one of the various reasons I've even gotten into Crucible as much and gotten better over time, is I simply surrounded myself with players better than me to learn from them. You'll be surprised simply just by watching someone in Crucible how far that will get you. There are tons of content creators out there that cover Crucible, and I'm sure many of you have thousands, if not few friends that are really good at Crucible that you can play and learn from. Do it. A lot of the weapons in Crucible just simply can't be obtained by luck as much as I would want it to be. Have I had a few close and lucky matches? Oh, of course. But I can guarantee the other 10 I needed to implement a form of skill, or at least try. But with that, my friends, learn. And once again, my name is Descend, and I will see you out in the wild.